rehearsal process and whether or not there was any improvisation or whether it was all scripted?
It's all scripted. And maybe Mickey would like to talk about the rehearsal.
We didn't really have any rehearsals. We just had a lot of takes. A lot, yeah. But it was great to be given so many takes, because you just...
It's incredibly not spontaneous is the thing, and it's amazing Noah's direction and the way he constructs films. That's something we've done 50 times and it's very tightly scripted, feels like it just happened, and that's because of him. But over the course of making the film, it took a long time and we became very good friends.
I would say also, I mean, it is because of them, because to feel, to convey that kind of intimacy and that kind of history and play those scenes, I mean, those takes are pretty long, a lot of them, and we did do it a lot of times, and so for them to be able to sort of find different things and refine things and get it all so we would have the take that would be in the movie is really impressive.
It certainly is. Any other questions? Yes, go ahead.
I was just wondering if you've seen the French movie Entre Nous, which was out about 25 years ago, which also addressed the issue of women falling in love and getting confused because they have this depth of feeling for each other, but they're not necessarily gay. Kind of that type of question. What's really how confusing it is?
The question is about that platonic love between two women and whether or not there was any influence from the French film Entre Nous.
No, I haven't seen it. I probably should have watched it. Research. Did either of you seen it? I know it, but I haven't seen it. Now I will, thank you.
Perhaps you can speak to how you deal with that different kind of love that you're trying to represent in the film. It's not necessarily sexual, but a very deep platonic love.
I mean, I don't know. We did talk about really structuring it as a love story, like a traditional love story, but it's not a man. Like that kind of she has the girl, she loses the girl, she tries to get the girl back, and kind of that being something that's cribbed from male-female romances, and even trying to find a replacement girl or that kind of stuff is all. Because I think the emotions are the same, but I think it's largely unexplored as a movie subject, and we should watch that movie.
Any other questions? Yes, over here.
Sir Greta, I just think while watching the film, you have a really sort of unself-conscious physicality while acting. I'm wondering how you prepare for the role or who you're inspired by.
It's very self-conscious.
But it doesn't come off that.
Oh, good.
So the question is about your preparation for the role and how you break through, that sort of self-conscious feeling to get to that unself-conscious performance.
Again, talking about acting, it's sort of like talking about writing. It's difficult, but I think for me, when we cast Mickey as Sophie, that went a very long way to freeing up who Frances was, because she's such a great actress, and as soon as we were together and acting, it started to make sense in a way, and I had my scene partner. I think it's always, when you have another actor to act with, it makes you less conscious of yourself. And I also think, but I do think it's just it's a kind of day-by-day process. I saw a Q&A with the Dardenne brothers who said it takes their actors a month to not be embarrassed in their bodies which I think is very true about acting. There's something embarrassing about it. But I think actually the repetition of the takes, you lose your self-consciousness because it becomes almost meditative, and then you find the spontaneity again, and then you lose it, and it's just by doing it, it's just throwing yourself into it every day. But Frances always lived inside of me somewhere. She just needed a movie.
I think we have time for a few more. Are there any on the balcony that I'm missing? Yes, right there on the balcony.
I'll mention that that's a great film, and I'm such a huge fan of black and white. But my question is, the 20s in general, in different phases, is a very rough age, especially when you get into the last few years. With that theme in mind, and with that age group, what inspired you to capture that age group with your stylistic choice?
So the question is about what inspired the choice of choosing that age group, that sort of 3 last years of your 20s.
Greta and Mickey were both 27. And I wanted to make a movie with them.
Man, a few words. Are there any other questions? Yes, there. Yes, you.
I absolutely loved the character of that Greta plays being totally clumsy, except when she's dancing. That was a wonderful amalgam. How on earth did you come up with it? It's so original.
So the question is about some of the physicality in the film and how you came up with the idea to have her be so clumsy in most of her life, but so elegant in the dancing.
You know, it's, again, I feel like it's so hard to, I go back and create reasons for everything, and Noah just says, well, they're 27, or, you know, she says, but I mean, I think, you know, everyone deserves to be elegant and beautiful and lovely in one part of their life, and I think in some ways, in Frances's heart, that's also her love for Sophie is like that, and it burns brightly, and but you know, the physical stuff, I think it was also, when we wrote it, and the way Noah shot it, it was far away enough that I had the opportunity to be, the physical comedy was available to portray, because sometimes movies are shot so close, it's just all faces, it's shot reverse shot, and you can't, and there's no space for you to actually play in the frame as an actor. And I love movies, older movies, where you can see an actor walk across a room and the way that they are, the way that they feel on screen. And I think it was really just the space and the opportunity to create all this physicality that normally would be lost if it was shot a different way. And same with the dancing, showing that full body. I think someone said Fred Astaire always knew how to shoot a dancer, and it was like just the whole thing. Don't get tricky. And I like seeing people's bodies.
Any other questions? Yes, over here.
Yeah, it seemed like the film was made really quietly. There wasn't a lot of press until it was basically finished, it seemed. Did you make a decision to kind of go off the radar? And if so, how do you do that?
The question is about how you kept this film a secret for so long. Was that a conscious choice to keep the film off the radar, or did that just happen?
Well, it'd be great if they all could be off the radar until you're done, you know, or you don't get overheard at a party saying, you know, maybe one day I'll do this, and then someone writes about it on the internet. No, it just, nobody asked, nobody looked.
I think we have time for one more. Yes, go ahead.
Did you think of another end to the film? I mean, this happy end. I love the movie, you know, but this happy end sort of bothers me a little bit. I would have thought.
The question is about the ending and why you chose to end it on such a happy note.
I recommend some of my other pictures.
Is that a happy end to note on? Yeah, okay, all right. We'll end on that note.